Okay, so you want to understand, apply the scripture, but don't know where or how to start? Okay, let me help you. This week is going to be talking about finding peace in God's presence, and we'll be using the scripture John 15, 4 through 8 in Message. And it says, "Live in me, make your home in me just as I do in you. In the same way that a branch can't bear grapes by itself, but only being joined to the vine, you can't bear fruit unless you are joined with me. I am the vine, you are the branches. When you are joined with me, I with you, the relation intimate and organic, the harvest is sure to be abundant. Separated, you can't produce a thing. Anyone who separates me is a dead wood, gathered up and thrown onto the bonfire. But if you make yourself at home with me and my words at home in you, you can be sure that whatever you ask will be listened to and acted upon. This is how my Father shows who he is. When you produce grapes, you mature as my disciples." Okay, that was really good. So, just to break down that first line, because like I said, the Bible is full of metaphors and has multiple meanings. So I just want to break down, each line. It says, "Live in me, make your home in me just as I do in you." And then the New Living Translation says, "Remain in me and I will remain in you." So just kind of hearing it that way, what it means for me is stick with me, involve yourself in everything that you do, involve, God in everything that you do, and he will produce that. He will bless everything that you are doing because you are involving him in everything that you do. And if you just go a little bit deeper back to the Message, when it says, "Make your home in me just as I do in you," I want you to kind of think of it on a deeper level, especially when you're talking about your space and just being in God's presence and making your home available to God. I said, just as you want Christ in your presence, especially your home, make your space comfortable enough for him to rest in your presence. What does that mean? Let God know your space is a place of worship, prayer, and praise. Play gospel music, pray in every room, anoint your home, and just let God know that, I want you to be in my space. I want you to be in my home. I want to be surrounded by you in all times. Just to give that home feel, I feel like that is a deeper meaning with it. And it is kind of hard for Christ to be comfortable in your home when you don't really make a space for him, when you're not really creating an ambience for him to rest, rest his presence. Then if you go down a little bit where it says, "You can't bear fruit unless you are joined with me." God, we do have a jealous God. Even though, he loves us unconditionally, he wants us to involve him in everything that we do. He wants to know that we are involving him in our next steps. He already knows what our next step is. So it just makes sense to keep him in the loop so that he can guide you on your righteous path. He wants you to trust in him, and he wants you to trust into his plan. And you do that by asking him to cover you and guide you through every step and allowing him to do that for you. Praying in every room that you're in, and just allowing him to take over. And then I also wanted to mention, when you are sowing your seed, when people say "Oh, I'm sowing my seed." Sowing your seed is placing your goals before the Lord, doing your part, working hard, and the things that you can't do, you place it before the Lord and you ask him to, give it abundance, bless your goal, bless your plans, bless whatever that you are going through, so that you can have a breakthrough. And once you do that and you put the hard work in and you be patient and be obedient to the Lord, that is when he reaps what you sows and produces an abundance of fruit, an abundance of blessings. But sowing your seed is putting in the work, is trusting in him, is increasing your faith. That is the action for sowing your seed. Just to hit on that last line, it says, "This is how my Father shows who he is. You produce grapes when you mature as my disciples." So pretty much when you want to get serious about God, when you're serious about seeking him and obeying and being intimate with him, He's on the same type of time that you are. He is ready to take that step, and he is there with you to guide you through your journey. When you truly seek him, he's gonna answer. So now we're gonna go over to Philippians 4:8-9. It's just one little line that I wanted to touch on, and I am still reading this in the Message. And so it says, summing it all up, friends, I'd say do your best by filling up your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly, things to praise, not things to curse. Put into practice what you learned from me, what you heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything work together, will work for you in his most excellent harmonies. Now that one little line, I feel like is so powerful, because it's so easy to fixate on everything that's going wrong in your life and everything that you don't have, but it is still easy to remember all the goodness of the Lord, waking you up this morning, allowing you to have food, allowing you to get up, allowing you to move around, allowing you to do things that you probably don't deserve, you know, but he's unconditionally loving to you, unconditionally caring, and at the end of the day, he wants you to succeed and make it to the end of your journey, regardless of, you know, what you have going on. So it's always best to think about what he's done for you already, what he's about to do, what's in the works. You know, we can always feel it, what the future is about to hold, because at the end of the day, he doesn't want us to fail. He doesn't want us to struggle. He wants to see us succeed. If we're planting the seed and we're keeping him in our presence and we're always keeping him involved, it's just really hard for us to just continue to not feel that joy and not feel his presence. If we think about all the things that he's done that has benefited us or even benefited the people around you, that can kind of give us a peace of mind that, hey, if he blessed me last time, I'm pretty sure he's gonna bless me again. If he promised that he was gonna work in my good and he did it last time, that promise still remains today. I would just continue to think about all the goodness of the Lord. Think about all the blessings that he's given you, all the little things that he's allowed you to have, all the big things that he's allowed you to have. And I think that thought alone, I'm pretty sure it should put a smile on your face. It should give you joy. It should give you happiness. It should give you hope. And then I just wanted to touch on that last line that says, put into practice all the things that you learned from me, heard and realized. Do that, and God will include you into all his excellent harmonies. What I took from that is, read your word, but don't just read to read. Read to comprehend. Take notes. Read it in different texts so that you can really understand what he is saying. Take notes and apply it to your everyday life. Find ways to apply what you've learned to your everyday life, because God doesn't punish us for the things that we're ignorant to, but once you know better, he's kind of expecting you to do better. So if we're reading our word and the word is saying this, it's always good for us to take notes, try to see where we can apply it in our everyday life, because ultimately that is being obedient. That is living by the word. You know, it's always easier said than done to try to do better or try to apply the scripture to your everyday life. But God just wants us to try. He doesn't want us to be perfect. He just wants us to try. So that's all that, you know, we are asking. Just try. Maybe you couldn't do it today, but strive to do it by Friday. You know, put in some type of effort, because, you know, he's always